Hello. Welcome to my review of R.I.P.D. I've got to kind of be quiet on this one because my brother's asleep in the bathroom because he has a fever and I don't feel like explaining anymore, so I'm just going to get to the review. R.I.P.D. A movie that was kind of a flop, kind of panned by critics. I mean, it wasn't like horrible. I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it like a 35% or something. It was okay. It was okay. It was good, fun to watch, but however, I feel it could have been much better. I mean, the concept's very original. If you don't know about it, Ryan Reynolds plays a cop who dies and joins the R.I.P.D. or the Rest in Peace department. And him and Jeff Bridges, who plays this old cowboy who also died, he's pretty funny. Jeff Bridges! They go out and they have to fight like deados and stuff, which are like these like demon dudes that like look like real people, but then they have like demons inside of them. It's kind of weird, but the idea of them being like a heaven's police agency or something is kind of cool. Like the it's cool. Yeah, the concept's cool, but in even some of the stuff they do like is cool. Like Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges, they can be seen by humans, but they're not seen as themselves. Ryan Reynolds looks like an old Asian man to the people around, and Jeff Bridges looks like a sexy lady, I guess. I don't know, like kind of like a supermodel or something. And so throughout the movie, like people are sometimes come up to him, I guess, hitting on him because he looks like a female supermodel, and there's just it could have been so much better than it was. It was good, but it could have been like really funny instead of just average, and mostly forgettable too. Like I get the feeling I'll forget about this movie in a couple months and probably never watch it again. But because like it wasn't as funny as it could have been. It wasn't as serious as it could have been. It could have had a serious take and explored seriously like of what would happen in this situation, or it could have just been a comedy thing, which I kind of lean towards the comedy side, but it just wasn't as funny. But it wasn't that funny, even though it was leaning towards the comedy side, which kind of ruined it. The story's a little hocus pocus. I couldn't understand what was going on half of the time, and it didn't help that Jeff Bridges was hard to understand, because he was sporting this fake cowboy accent that was, like, really thick, and it sounded like this the whole time, except for even harder to understand than that. So, like, I mean, it got easier to understand him as the movie went on. I think, like, you just got used to it after a while, but it's kind of annoying. Because he was probably the best character. Probably the most enjoyable part about the movie was Jeff Bridges, except for he was doing that fake accent, which kind of messed up that aspect of it. It was okay. Could have been a lot funnier. Could have been more serious. They could have done a lot more with the concept, but they don't really do that much with the concept. They're basically just, it's almost like a cop movie mixed with an action movie. I don't know. Yeah, the action scene. There's one action scene where there's just so much needless destruction in the action scene. It's like, and everyone, and they can, and it's just the action scenes. Like the first action scene involves, well, technically the second, but this is like a major one. Like this one guy turns into a deado, which are like the zombie weird demon dudes, and they chase him around and like grapple claw up these buildings, and the guy's running on buildings, and the people, I wasn't sure about this at first, but as the action scene went on, it became clear that the people were seeing the deado exactly what it looked like. There wasn't any, like, he didn't look like the regular person, he didn't look like anything else. He wasn't not there, because, like, Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Bridges look different. So I was wondering if that guy looks different too. And in those moments, it almost reminded me of the Percy Jackson series with, like, them being, like, looking different than they are and demons and wondering how people see them. But no, they saw them exactly as they were, which was kind of lame, to be honest. But, like, and it kind of made the whole action seem, like, ridiculous. Like, sure, they saved the world, but people are going to be talking about this for days and days and years because this was some major stuff. And another thing that was stupid about the first scene was about that action scene was there was a part where Jeff Bridges was like hanging from a building with his grapple claw thing, and this guy got distracted because he looked like the supermodel, so he was like, "What the heck?" And the guy was driving a truck, and then the truck crashes into another truck, and then these cars crash into it, and then this one car crashes into it and just flips and flies over. It's like, what the heck? In real life, that would be like 5 people probably dead, or at least one person dead. The person in the car that frickin' flipped. And they just shrug it off like it's nothing, and it's just needless destruction in the action scene that didn't even have anything to do with the fighting. I mean, it would have been fine if one car had crashed into another car. That would have been acceptable and kind of funny. But then they totally overdid it with these other 2 cars crashing into them, and then the one car just flipping over the other cars. It's just, ugh. But I don't know. There's nothing left to say now. Seriously, I don't have anything else to say. Arrivederci.